I have a couple of companies at the moment that are actually looking to, well, in one instance, cook the product, ship it in its raw state, but cook it because the difference in the tariff is significant. And I've got another one at the moment that's actually looking to assemble in the marketplace. So they've kind of tested out the market, they know there's demand there, so it's worth investing in doing it. But the difference in import duties is making a huge difference to their profit.
But in that, I mean, that's the kind of thing that can make the difference between making the sale and not making the sale. You know, all of a sudden we can take a big chunk out of the price, which is of no cost to us.
When entering or shipping to an overseas market, clearly there needs to be an understanding of the difference between, for instance, VAT in this country and GST in Australia, in terms of the import duty or the tariffs that are levied on particular goods entering into a foreign market. And then you get the additional issues where your shipping documents, as far as you were concerned, were 100%.
Yes.
But actually when the thing's sitting on the wharf and it's stuck because there's a comma missing from a particular line on a particular document, demurrage charges kick in. So there's all those. There are people out there to help, but
That costs too.
It does cost, but you've got to get.
Packing is another really
Well,
for our product.
Packing. There's duties. There's local taxation requirements. There's a whole myriad of things you've got to consider.
I have a client who actually reviewed the way everything was being packed. And how it could be sent to the country. The country being so far away realized that he was shipping a lot of air, so it was just a matter of reviewing how can we modify the process here to avoid high cost by just manufacturing in the UK part of it, and then the insert would be manufactured in the country where it was meant to go to in the end.
Well, you will have all the cost of changing your products, well, adapting your products, maybe in terms of labels and translations. So it's the market. You might have to add something to the product itself to meet the standards. You have to test them. Mm-hmm. You need to comply with whatever standards of whichever country, as well as the EU, because even if you've got the EU, each country has got their own ways of doing things. And the French in particular like to do opposite to everybody else.
I'm glad you said that.
You did. We do love the Brits. You just don't like us. It's always a joke about hating, loving each other. But yes, there's all those costs, and then possibly exhibiting, visiting, maybe employing somebody who's going to have the language skills.